Hello and welcome to our Spring 2020 DE Forum tonight. The microphones are muted, so if you have any questions, please use the chat box located in the bottom corner. You can download the agenda and please remember to complete the short survey loaded at the end of the agenda. We appreciate your feedback on our surveys. If you cannot download the agenda, we'll be happy to email that to you. Tonight we have a presenter, Mr. Patrick Roberts, who is the Associate Director for Career Services. Our program tonight is titled Career Services for DE Online Students. Again, if you have any questions, please use the chat box. Patrick, I'm going to let you share the great information on Career Services for DE students.
All right, now I'm in control. Thank you everybody for your patience. Again, we're going to talk today about career services and what we can do to help you as a distance education student. I apologize for a little bit of the delay there. We're going to get right into it with first an overview of what we do, and then we're going to go into a little bit more detail about what services we provide for online students specifically. First thing we do for students, again in career services, is we help students by exploring majors as well as creating career goals. We know that a lot of distance education students are non-traditional, so they've chosen to come back to school or re-enroll in school for a reason. With that said, there are still a lot of possibilities when it comes to what you can do with certain majors at ECU. So even if it's not choosing a major, it's creating a career plan. One of the biggest things that we say to students when it comes to creating a career plan is understanding the steps that you need to take to get there. A lot of students will wait until their senior year or around graduation to come into our office or seek out our services. And we suggest that you come early and often to develop that relationship with your career counselor and to understand what you might be missing in what you can be doing to make yourself a competitive job seeker. So that's part of the explore and getting to know what you need to do to be successful. So starting with that goal in mind. With that being said, I do want to emphasize here that we operate on a liaison model, which means that all of our career counseling staff is assigned to specific academic advisors throughout the colleges. So you will have a specific academic advisor. If you go to our website under the About Us tab, you'll see that we do have a list of directories, so you can reach out directly to a liaison, or you can respond to one of their many liaison emails that they send about every other week. Probably our most famous service is that we do help students with gaining experience. That can be through our resume and cover letter reviews. We also provide practice or mock interview sessions, as well as job and internship searching. So with students that come in with this in mind, again, they already have a career goal, so we're helping them develop the documents to help them be competitive. We call it a toolkit of resources. Going along with that, we do help students with LinkedIn profiles, their social media, tapping into our alumni network. One kind of myth about our office is we do provide services nationally and internationally. So even if you're not located in North Carolina, in Eastern North Carolina, we can help you secure positions throughout the country and the world. Going along with that, when you do have a position secured, we do help with salary negotiation, as well as if you are applying to further your education through graduate school, we can help you search, select, and apply to graduate schools, as well as help you with the personal statement. Another big area that we provide experience is our handshake system, which I'll go into more detail here in a little bit. I think that's probably one of our most premier resources for online education students because it is all accessible through the internet for them to see all of our upcoming events, as well as the handshake system, which has around 5,000 job and internship postings in it available daily. And then finally here, the third area that we provide services is connecting students to employers and alumni. We do that through our career fairs as well as co-op, which is a more intense internship program. We've partnered with several different employers to offer basically a student would take a semester off. They would still be enrolled as a student, but they'd be paid as a full-time employee and work underneath that company. If you'd like to learn more information about that, I'm happy to talk more about that in the future. On top of that, on top of our career fairs, you'll see that we also host employers on campus for interviews, as well as what we call the Pirate Employer Series, where we'll host specific employers on campus. They will table in our student center, and then they'll host an information session where they talk about career opportunities with their company. We do have a system called ECU Connect, which hosts alumni that have agreed to sponsor as well as mentor students through the Alumni Association, and we help with alumni networking, again, through LinkedIn and other social medias. And then finally, again, not to hit it home again, but the Handshake system is our job posting system. This system, again, connects students to employment opportunities as well as alumni. How we provide these services is mainly through our one-on-one counseling sessions. We also offer drop-in hours Monday through Friday from 11 to 3 at our main office located at 701 East 5th Street. And then we have satellite locations throughout the academic buildings. Because our office is located off of 5th Street, about right across the street from Jenkins Art Building, we do try to provide the services closer to the students. And so each liaison working in academic buildings does host satellite office hours in that location so students can go right up from their classroom. At all of our career fairs and in our office, we provide free professional photos at all of our career fairs, and we do print business cards for students. We have a lot of online resources, again, that we're going to talk a lot about today, and we try to mirror a lot of our services that we provide in person to students online. That way that the distance education students don't feel like we're not providing them the services they need. So you'll see here coming up, I do highlight a lot of services that we provide to them and to you guys, so that way you can feel like we're providing the services to you. First here you'll see Handshake and why to use Handshake as a student. Of course, those 4,000 jobs has actually bumped up to about 5,000 jobs, internships, part-time, full-time, and all on and off-campus jobs. It does provide a user experience that's customized. What it means by that is basically when you're on the system, the first thing it's going to do is it's going to ask you questions to determine what the homepage should look like and what information it should be driving to you. So basically with that, you'll see that once you log in, let's say you're a health sciences major, you will see health sciences job opportunities. You'll see common jobs that people within your major are applying to, and that should drive some of the job alerts that you'll receive in the system. Another big thing inside of there is the employer directory. So right now that system's grown to at least 400,000 employer contacts inside the system. And then you can also set up alerts. So you can set up alerts to follow employers, follow career fair activity. You can also set up alerts so that it automatically emails you job and internship opportunities that meet criteria that you want. That's a big feature that I think a lot of students overlook in the system, is that they're not using the system to help themselves by setting up these alerts and not missing out on opportunities. A big one there is definitely looking at, let's say you're interested in a full-time job in engineering. You could set up an alert for that, and then as soon as those positions get posted in our system, you would be getting an alert, again, to help the system do the work for you. We're going to go through some of the exclusive resources that are available through the system today. They include subscription job boards that we pay for students to have access to, as well as some additional resources that you could take advantage of. I think the last one here, you can also, the last two are pretty important for this group of distance education. You can subscribe and schedule appointments through our system for career services staff, and we do provide phone appointments for distance education students. If you'd like to meet via Skype, that would be something you could work out with the counselor. We do have that available too, but most students are pretty comfortable with just hopping on the phone. We would call you, and we do ask for your phone number with those appointments. And then finally here, the last one, again, is another big one that we try to provide for distance education students, and it's called Virtual Resume Review. If you log into our system at ecu.joinhandshake.com, it is single sign-on, and you'll see one of our events listed there is Virtual Resume Review, where you can submit your resume online and receive virtual feedback. Again, this system is something that we tried to take out to online students so that way they can feel like they can submit their resume anywhere in the world and receive feedback within 3 to 5 business days. This is just a sample of some of the employers that we do have listed in the system. Again, you'll see that most of these are pretty name recognizable, and it's just a sample, again, of the employers that are available for students to apply for positions. Once we brought on Handshake, we increased our number of job opportunities by about 300% in the first year. So there are a wide variety of employers in there recruiting both locally and nationally for positions. Again, one of the reasons why we brought Handshake on too was the easy access, being able to use the single sign-on. You'll see this button here, the East Carolina login button, that will redirect you to the single sign-on using your Pirate ID and passphrase. So we wanted to make sure students were aware of that because it just helps not to have to create more passwords. And you'll see here, these are the customized questions that I was talking about that will drive what your dashboard looks like on the home page. And you'll be able to see here different industries that you can indicate you're working for, where do you want to work, and then what are you looking for is behind this here. And that slide really helps you look at, are you looking for internships, full-time jobs, and you can always change that in the system. This is a preview of the home page. You'll see under the drop-down menu here, I did want to circle the resources tab because that's an important one to look at and see the different resources available, those exclusive resources. But while we're looking at the tab here, you'll see this is where you go once you're logged in under Career Center. You can click on appointments, and that will also drive you to be able to schedule an appointment. Once you click on the resources tab here, this outlines some of the resources we referred to already. The Here's How Virtual Workshop series is one that we're going to go over in a little bit, but basically we've taken all of our main topics that we present on in classes. That includes resume writing, job searching, interview prep, and any student anywhere can access those virtual workshops and then view those. So again, trying to bring that service to you guys. CareerShift is an exclusive national job search database that basically searches the entire internet for you for job postings. It's very similar to Handshake, except for it's not vetted by our employee relations team. It's tapping into the whole internet. So that's one resource that's in addition to Handshake. If you're not finding job opportunities, if you have a specific role, specific major or industry that might not be in our system, that's a resource to use. And I'll go into some of these other ones here in a little bit. Again, we've covered Handshake or CareerShift here a little bit. The reason why I like CareerShift is, and it says it here in the title of a career management solution, it does store documents for you and it can keep track of communication. As a job seeker, sometimes you send out multiple resumes in a day and you contact several different contacts. Well, this system will put all that together for you and keep track of it. So on top of being a national job search database that searches the whole internet for you, it will help you keep and manage those documents. Going Global is a new resource that we added about a year ago now, and this resource has over 600,000 job postings available throughout the world, and you can search by country. You can even take the language of that country and convert it to English or to the native language of that country. We really like this resource for students that are looking at international work. And then the thing that we really like about it as well is that it does feature what they're calling country guides. Again, this is a resource that you would access underneath that. I'm going to go back real quick to the resources tab. This is where you would access that. And the country guides, that feature allows you to look at a country's overall portfolio and then give you advice on etiquette when you're at a business meeting. What does their CVs or resumes look like in that country? Commonly in Europe, they refer to resumes as CVs. So what's the culture? What's some advice? And then it even has a cost breakdown of what the living costs would be in that area. So for a lot of students that are intimidated by relocating even to English-speaking countries, this is a great resource for them. Virtual resume review, or I'm sorry, Virtual Job Shadow is another resource that we offer online for students. The best way to describe this is it's kind of like YouTube, but for people that are exploring different career options. If you go under the resources tab, again, this is listed there. And basically what this company did is they went out and they interviewed people in their jobs. And then they put together these interviews so that people could listen to them and hear them talk about what it's like to get the job, what they need to do to be competitive in the job. So for a lot of students today, they appreciate this because they're not into reading really long articles about what a job entails. Instead, they'd like to watch a 3 to 4 minute video. So that's what this software does. Included with the Virtual Job Shadow is some interactive assessment tools, including interest profile, where students can go in and figure out what their top interests are. And then based on that, they can be directed to different careers that might match those interests. This is an example. Again, if this was live, I could click on the video here. It would play me a very brief overview of what the aerospace engineer position was like. And then you'll see on the side here, there's different tabs. So once you become interested, you can read an article on the career description. You can also look at the required education to become an aerospace engineer, what the earning potential is both in North Carolina and nationally, and then the future outlook, as well as where are there colleges that offer a specific degree in this field, and then are there jobs and internships. And you can, and this will actually search Indeed for job and internship opportunities. The last one here, the related careers, this allows you to kind of use it as a snowball effect where you can continue to explore, okay, I'm interested in aerospace and engineer, but what other careers are similar but aren't specifically this? Interview stream. This is a system, again, we brought on campus to help students that are distance education. The main reason why we brought this system on was because we knew that students were not practice interviewing, at least practicing out loud when they had upcoming interviews set. So what we did is this system allows you to use your webcam or tablet to record yourself answering interview questions and then watch the interview back to give yourself a critique. You can also generate a link and share that with professors. The best thing I say about this with students is that you think you sound like a genius in your head until you start speaking out loud in front of 3 people that are deciding your future at a company or with a position. So this system allows you to do the practicing first and then watch yourself and actually critique yourself. My favorite part of this system is that it does allow you to tally how many times you say like, you know. So when you've heard yourself answer a question 3 or 4 times and you say like 10 to 15 times in an answer, you'll definitely be able to improve on that. You'll be more aware of it. And so that's one really good feature of the system. Again, you are able to generate a link and then share that with faculty or staff that you'd want to review it as well. We're happy to review it in Career Services too. Another feature of Interview Stream before I move on that I'd like to highlight is it does create some canned interviews that you can use. So if you have a specific industry like engineering or nursing that you want to create an interview, there are suggested interview questions for that. Or you can go through the list of about 2,000 canned interview questions and build your own interview if you know that there's specific questions that you're trying to prepare for. And then finally here, the virtual resume review goes along with this, which is, I believe, the next slide here. Again, submitting that online. But this here is another great resource that we provide online for students. All you need to do is type in the ecu.edu/sample resumes, and this drives you to our website where we have hundreds of resume samples by industry. Again, after working with students for several years, we realized that a lot of students just need to see a sample or two of recommended best practices when it comes to their major or their discipline. This system allows students to look at those samples, pull them up, compare their resume to those samples, and then for a lot of students, that's all they really need to get started on editing their own resume. Of course, we still want to see it and give you suggestions, but this is a great place to start. Again, that's ecu.edu/sample resumes. And we've covered the virtual resume review, but this is a great, I think, a great system that we offer and a great resource that we offer to students. For a lot of students, they do appreciate the fact that they can stay at home, they can submit their resume online, they don't have to come during drop-in hours or schedule an appointment. And we are pretty good at getting feedback within, I'd say, 1 to 3 business days. If you do submit it on a Friday afternoon, we probably won't get to it till Monday or Tuesday, but feel free to start submitting those resumes through there. And again, we covered the Here's How virtual workshop series previously, but I would say with this, again, for this group specifically, we definitely suggest that if you have any specific questions about the virtual workshops or something that you see missing from that, we'd be happy to explore that option and start recording some more of those. The topics that we have so far include the resume writing, job searching, interview prep, as well as salary negotiation and tapping into the hidden job market. And then I did want to take a moment to say save the date for our upcoming job fairs. We do have one, we have 2 next week. We have the one in the morning, the job and internship fair for all majors. as well as the Engineering Technology Fair. I realize that this group is distance education, so you might not be able to come to the job fair, but I did want to take a moment to say that you can access the list of employers attending by downloading the FAIRS app. You'll see the logo there. If you search on the Google Play or App Store, you're able to download the app. You can also access the list of employers through Handshake. And so for students that are distance education, this is something that our counselors work with students on. You can download the list of employers, and we would encourage you to, if you're not able to attend the career fair, you can reach out directly to them. All of the employers in our system have registered through Handshake, which means that they have contacts in the system, and they would welcome students approaching them outside of the career fair and emailing them directly saying, you know, I am distance education, I'm an ECU student, I saw that you recently attended the job fair, I'd love to connect with you, attached is my resume. For a lot of employers, they welcome that connection. Just because you're not face-to-face at the job fair, most would understand that you're not able to come. And then finally, March 18th, we do have our education fair from 8:30 to 11:30 at the Greenville Convention Center. And the similar philosophy goes for that. So you are going to see that employers would welcome students to send their resume along if they aren't able to come. And then our last event of the year is our summer job fair. That's kind of a just-in-time fair where we pull in a lot of employers looking for part-time work. And again, the same philosophy applies where they would welcome students to reach out to them that aren't able to attend those events. And we've created a shortcut here for the FAIRS app. This is a new software that we brought on this fall. The shortcut is go.ecu.edu/FAIRS app. And again, you can download that if you search in the Google Play or the App Store. You'll be able to download that and view those upcoming employers. You'll be able to filter by industry. If you're looking for employers that are searching for internships or full-time jobs, you can search by major inside of that system. So we've replaced our printed maps with the FAIRS app. And just to give you an idea of some of the results from our past career fairs and job fairs, and students feel more confident interacting with employers after attending. So again, if you're not able to come face-to-face, I would challenge you to think about ways that you could interact with them, at least digitally, online, by reaching out to them. Most students, almost 94%, discovered at least one employer of interest. So again, challenging you to go through our list of employers and find some of interest in reaching out to them, and then establishing an employer contact from those systems. And then finally here's our contact information for you. Again, there's a picture of the house located at 701 East 5th Street where we have drop-in hours Monday through Friday. You can schedule appointments through Handshake. Our website's career.ecu.edu. And then if you want to email our department, you can email us at career@ecu.edu. And then this is my contact information. I put Patrick Starfish up there so people could recognize the name and remember the name. Again, my email, if you have any questions, is robertsp@ecu.edu, and the phone number to reach me is 328-6050. And I believe this is the time for questions. If anyone has any questions, please type those in the box, and I'm happy to answer them.
Patrick, I see we have one question from
Sure.
Kara. Let's see, do we need to make an appointment for the professional photo opportunity during the job fair?
No. So there's no appointment needed. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing the questions in the chat. I must be in a different chat, maybe. Oh, no, send to, let's see here, all attendees. There we go. So no, there's no need to send any, there's no need to schedule appointments for the professional photos during the job fair. As long as you check in at the front and register at the front, we send the links for the professional photos directly to all the students that registered. Other questions? I see here, are the online jobs for distance education students? Are you referring to the jobs posted online? So in Handshake, there are jobs available that you can do online. Most of the jobs in the system, I mean, any job that's listed as on-campus would, of course, be an on-campus job that's only available for ECU students that are on campus. But in the filters feature of Handshake, you can do location. I don't believe there is one for online, so that might be a keyword search where you'd have to search for online jobs. And that's something, again, I would say maybe working directly with a career counselor on looking at and identifying industries or companies that do offer more online type work. That would be maybe call centers or specific customer service or hospitality industries, even some tech companies would definitely have a lot of online work. There's a lot of businesses that are looking at developing software, developing marketing plans. I know that there's a lot of social media management that's done online now. So again, we definitely encourage that. Does the program offer job shadowing for people that are not sure about their major? So we don't offer specifically a job shadow program, but what we do offer is helping you connect with alumni that would offer job shadowing as well as employers. So we help facilitate that conversation. One resource that I didn't list here, but if you go to our website under the Alumni Services tab, we do have a resource called ECU Connect. It's ecuconnect.com. If you have a LinkedIn profile, or even if you just want to create an account on there, you can log in as an ECU student and you can check out all the alumni that would offer support, whether that's offering an internship, mentorship, and that's we always start with alumni at ECU because they seem to be more willing to help other ECU alumni. But of course, if that doesn't work, we would help you look at LinkedIn and other ways to connect with professionals if you're interested in job shadowing. Other questions? So there isn't an email address to submit your resume for review. What I would do, the easiest way to get to the resume review is if you go to our website, career.ecu.edu, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see under Get Started, there is a link right underneath the drop-in hours that says submit your resume online here, and you can click that link. It's going to drive you to the virtual resume review event. You'll have to log into Handshake, but once you're logged into Handshake, you upload your resume to your profile under My Documents, and then you RSVP or register for the virtual resume review, and that's how you submit your resume for review. So to find your specific liaison for your program, you're going to, again, go to our website, the career.ecu.edu. The very far right tab at the top that says About Us, if you click on the drop down there and click on Staff Directory, you'll see that there is a list of career liaisons, and each of them has their email listed there. And I did just include the link directly there for the virtual resume review so that you can click that link. I just put that in the chat box. So for those that are interested in submitting their resume via the virtual resume review, if you click this link I included in the chat box, it'll send you directly to the preview page, and then at the top you'll see it's going to prompt you to log in. You'll have to use your single sign-on to log in there.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Patrick? If not, and you think of any other questions after this form is complete, feel free to email our office at onlineservices@ecu.edu, and we will be sure to get those questions over to Mr. Patrick Roberts, and I'm sure he'll be able to answer those, and we'll get those answers to you. Thank you, Patrick, for your program tonight.
Oh, you're welcome. So I sent one more link here, and this is just outlining kind of my presentation today. We created a specific page for distance education students, just again, so that they're aware of some of the services that we provide online. It does highlight the online resume review process and some other resources like Handshake, so feel free to reach out and look at that as well. I put that in the chat.
Okay.
But I apologize for the technical difficulties at the beginning. I appreciate your patience, and again, reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm happy to help.
Okay, thank you so much. Students, I will remind you to please complete our survey that is located on this last slide under survey link. It is also on the agenda. If you download the agenda, it is listed there. We will send out this recorded presentation tomorrow morning. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to email us and we'll make sure we get those questions answered for you. This concludes our forum, and we thank you again for attending, and we hope you have a good evening.